All right, I told you earlier in the parade, you know, we saw the reserves from Lackland that flew the C5. By the way, I told you Greg would text me. He did. It's right here. This is indeed that is indeed a replica of the C5 put into service in 1969, later upgraded to the C5M with new engines and more modern avionics. Their nicknames the Galaxy and later the Super Galaxy.
We knew Greg Simmons would know that.
He knows everything about avionics and flights and all that stuff.
Another group we are so proud to have with us and happy to highlight here tonight, the U.S. Naval Academy Drum and Bugle Corps from Annapolis, Maryland. Established in 1914, their mascot is Bill the Goat. And let's listen to them perform tonight.
Naval Academy Drum and Bugle Corps, followed by some of the midshipmen. They complete rigorous sets of both military and academic coursework in addition to their preparation to be part of the marching band.
And many of the members of the crowd tonight so happy and eager to shake their hands, say hello, and say thank you.
Very appreciative of some of the sailors that we see here from the United States Navy. By the way, the Drum and Bugle Corps, they perform more than 200 times a year at Navy football games, parades, formations, and other military functions across the country. And they performed at Toronto St. Patrick's Day Parade on a spring break trip to Canada. And here is a float from the United States Navy. By the way, sailors that you just saw participating in the parade, representatives of more than 8,000 active duty reserve and student sailors serving in the San Antonio area alone.
Wow.
8,000.
And interesting fact here, Texans make up about 10% of the total force of the U.S. Navy.
And on board, music played by the Navy Band Southeast from Jacksonville, Florida. And they are getting this crowd going.
And we love you. Thank you, Andrew.
By the way, Texans make up about 10% of the total force of the United States Navy. Listen to them.
Next up here, the Gonzaga Medical Group from here in San Antonio. Established in 1960, their mission is to provide an innovative system of medical care that delivers with integrity each day. They have over 60 medical physicians, hospitalists, physician's assistants, nurse practitioners who serve here in the San Antonio community. 6 clinics, 3 urgent care centers, and 1 occupational medicine and therapy center, all here in San Antonio.
By the way, this is Troop 485 from the Boy Scouts, one of the torch units, as they call them, that kind of separate the different categories and the different floats that we see along here. And Texas
State
Pioneers.
Association of Texas Pioneers, yes.
Blazing the trail, it says. Their purpose to preserve Texas history and perpetuate Texas tradition. Members have an ancestor who is recorded to have been in Texas prior to 1900. That's what it takes to be a member of the State Association of Texas Pioneers. They'll actually honor teachers as well for making Texas history come alive to students. They raise funds to give students scholarships. Also, the State Association of Texas Pioneers.
Keeping Texas history alive.
Blazing the trail.
Up next here, a young woman that I was so happy that I got to meet and so impressed by, the 2015 Reina de la Feria de las Flores, Lissette Garza, who is just such a beautiful person inside and out, an impressive young woman to meet in our Fiesta special earlier tonight. We told you her story about how she lived at St. Peter St. Joseph Children's Home, and along with her siblings, she graduated high school, is now in college, loves theater, loves giving back to her community, and she's so happy to do it with this position that she has this year as Fiesta royalty.
Yeah, and there you see her showing off those studded cowboy boots that she's wearing. You know, and just when you did an interview with her, you got a sense of how important it was for her to give back to the community and not forget where she came from. And she's certainly somebody worthy of wearing that crown.
And that was her message, especially when she went back to St. PJ's, telling all the children there, you can do anything. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. It doesn't matter where you came from. If you want to achieve something, you can. And her mission in all that she has achieved is just to make sure that she continues to give back. And she told me to share love and kindness. That's something that she wants people to remember as she makes all of her stops during this fiesta.
All right, there's some talent right there that you can like show your boots on a moving float.
Those boots.
Yeah, you can show your boots on a moving float and not fall off. That's what I would be afraid of, is falling off. I know they have those little stands behind them, but still. This is the Bello Women's Association.
Established in 1993, the Bello consists of 20 business and professional women who volunteer their time through scholarships in our community and through fundraising events every single year.
Bello, thank you very much for joining us. And this is the Ewald Kubota. No, this isn't Ewald Kubota. No, this looks like Lanier's 70s Alumni Association. President Willie Ramos, they provide scholarships for Lanier graduates. They are proud folks. They provide assistance to Lanier high school organizations. They assist the Lanier community as needed. They sponsor the My Blue Valentine's Dance, and they sponsor the Blue and White Masquerade, the Lanier's 70s Alumni Association.
And the first vocational high school here in San Antonio.
Go Vokes go, as they chant as they walk by us here in front of the Alamo. And appropriately, following the Alumni Association from Sidney Lanier High School, the marching band, the Marching Vokes from Sidney Lanier High School.
And their color guard preceding them there. Love how they have lit up their individual instruments. That is cool. Let's listen in as they pass here in front of the Alamo.
They have to be getting some props as one of the most creative bands for lining up. You can see they've lit up their instruments, their hats. Some of them even had their shoes lit up for this night parade.
If you can put a light on it, tonight is the night to do it.
By the way, it's time for a giant toilet here at the Fiesta Flambeau Parade from the San Antonio water system. Saws flushed with excitement to once again be in the Fiesta Flambeau Parade. They wrote this.
They did, and I think you really need to say that next line.
Yeah, they are very proud of what they do.
You said it, not me.
Yeah.
Hey, if you were lucky enough, it's all part of the spirit. If you were lucky enough to get one of their medals this year, it is a toilet seat cover, appropriately enough, for the Saul's 2016 medal.
This float called the Big Flush. Adam Caskey down with them. Adam.
Okay, so I'm on the float. Tell me, why a big toilet?
Because we work for SAS.
I mean, you water lawns as well, but...
Just to remind everybody where it all goes down.
Exactly, and according to your medal, what's the motto?
Wipes, clog, pipes.
Wipes, clog, pipes. What about confetti?
No, confetti probably is good.
Okay,
Confetti's
great.
good.
Then what do you say we launch some?
Launch it.
Ready! Oh, thank you.
All right, by the way, the King and Queen of the Throne, the Prince and Princess of Pipes, the Duke and Duchess of Drains, and the Baron and Baroness of the Bath. Part of the Saws Parade. But by the way, you want to have some fun?
These guys.
This is the parade to watch. Did you see them in the Battle of Flowers?
They are so awesome. Every year they bring it. Let's listen in as they put on a show.
the way, they were selected as the feature band of this year's Battle of Flowers band contest at Alamo Stadium. A huge award for them, and you can see why. And I watched them perform because we showed the Battle of Flowers Band Festival earlier this afternoon, and they did a great job. And you got just a glimpse there of how much fun this band has. They have fun, but also just imagine how physically taxing it is to play an instrument and make all those movements
and do it for miles along this parade route. Next up, the San Antonio Queen of Soul 2016, Jola Lalal. A 22-year-old graduate from the University of Texas at San Antonio and a major in finance. Her motto is, as long as you have a gift of talent, you have something to give. And as long as you have something to give and share it, you can make a difference.
Absolutely. Riding with her Queen of Soul First Princess, Rebecca Williams, a 21-year-old student at Trinity University. Second Princess, Jayla Williams, a 22-year-old student at the University of Texas at San Antonio. Her mission to identify and assist young ladies in the achievement of excellence in their future paths.
The San Antonio Queen of Soul has participated with queens and members of the Fiesta Flambeau parade for 35 years.
By the way, this is the San Antonio Zulu Association.
Another one of my favorites. They always know how to put on a party.
Yeah, by the way, they also put on the Taste of New Orleans, which is one of the big Fiesta events. Let's listen in to a little bit of the San Antonio Zulu Association as they go by us here on Alamo Streets.
Come on, San Antonio, make some noise.
For the past 2 years, these guys were gracious enough to let me hop up on their float and take a little ride with them. They know how to really have fun.
I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I showed off some dance moves that I probably shouldn't have. But I did it anyway because it was live TV.
By the way, the Zulu Association, or the SAZA Commission, Inc., is a benevolent, not-for-profit organization founded with the mission to assist the greater San Antonio community.
Up next, the Turangas de San Antonio, the award-winning group with their 4th year of participation, winning awards every year. These ladies and gentlemen are dedicated to their mission of celebrating Fiesta through the power of dance. This year, the vibrant costumes celebrate the heritage of Texas by showcasing, you can probably guess it, the Yellow Rose of Texas.
I was going to say, very appropriate that they have the music, the song, The Yellow Rose of Texas, playing as they do their dance routine right here in front of the Alamo. Very patriotic group.
Beautiful yellow skirts. Love the floral bonnets that they have, and I love how they've incorporated the lights into all of it.
And next we have a float from the Action United for Entertainers and Diversity, the AUEDA. King and Queen Joe and Gloria de Hoyos, with Jose, Melissa, Joe, and Matthew de Hoyos on the float. They were established in 2009. They're the largest piñata. They have the largest piñata in San Antonio, and they raise funds for programs that will enhance the artist in his or her endeavors.
And Gloria de Hoyos, one of the ladies who makes all of the cascarones that I believe you and Ursula got to hang out with earlier.
Yeah,
and the paper flowers.
That sounds about right. And by the way, the King and Queen are lifelong volunteers and well deserving of this honor. All right, I think we're going to have some more fun here. This is the Stephen F. Austin Sonic Boom Marching Band. Let's listen in.
recipients of the 2015 Grammy Community Award and the Grand Champion VH1 Battle of the Bands.
Very nice. By the way, the San Antonio Lutheran Coronation Float is what we have next. And Queen Amy Irene Reese, Prime Minister Princess Sharon Ann Halliburton, the Prince and Justices as well, established in 1958. This year's court is the Court of World Celebrations. Take a look at that float. This is their 58th year.
Oh, check out the shoes. Wow, what a beautiful gown. Check out the train that goes along with that gown, obviously celebrating various religious denominations, they say, as well as an ode to Christmas there.
Yeah, that is, all of those princesses have quite the train going down there.
I actually read that for coronation, some of these queens and princesses train dragging sandbags that mimic the weight
just to get used to it
of the train of their gown. Training has to go into being able to wear an outfit like that.
It's a workout. All right, by the way, now we have the Mighty Badger Band from Bishop, Texas. They are part of Bishop Consolidated, nominated for the National 2016 Blue Ribbon Schools Award. It's a small school, but they have a lot of academic achievement. Let's see if they're going to play something for us. The Mighty Badger Band from Bishop, Texas.
Up next, the Philippine Women of America. President Yolanda Moy, founder and treasurer Minda Reeve among this group tonight. They were established in 1987, and they raise scholarship funds for deserving Filipino-American college students.
Yeah, since their inception, more than 100 deserving students have been awarded college scholarships and grants. A number of scholars have already graduated and become active members of the San Antonio community. The Philippine Women of America from right here in San Antonio, Texas. Great looking carriage there as they ride through the Flambeau 2016.
We are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.